Hey guys, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, just across the river from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana, in Northwest Louisiana. And so basically, what I want to talk about is my process over the last few days. So I had, and by process, I mean what I've been doing, which is not much, just kind of like maintaining, uh, you know, kind of a healthier idea of relating to food, which I think is pretty important for people to do. Uh, when you've been in my place, at one point I was diagnosed, you know, diabetic with diabetes type 2, which is um, the type of diabetes that can be maintained and controlled and essentially reversed. The thing is, once you get that diagnosis, you always have it. Uh, but that at that one point, that's just that just means, hey, I've been diabetic. That means if I don't maintain, I'm prone to a diabetic state. But my levels, my A1C levels, are really awesome, and have been for a few years since I've been doing the A1C. I'm sorry, since I've been doing a keto diet. You'll find out if this is the first time you're watching me, I will get like so lost in my thought and will digress and go on some crazy tangents and stuff. So just fair warning. Okay, so so I went out Sunday uh, with my sister. It was her birthday, so and some friends of ours, and it was a Mexican restaurant. And so my street tacos, even with the side of rice, was not horrific. For me. However, the amount of chips and salsa that I consumed, oh my God, uh, and queso, but all that together, it just kind of like, okay, I'm not in ketosis today, so I can just do it. I didn't like overly abuse myself with the chips and salsa though, but hey, it was good. I certainly enjoyed it. Um, what I needed to do after that was immediately get into the whole like uh, keto diet, which is the goal of the keto diet is to get my body into a state of ketosis where my liver is uh, turning the glucose stored in my body, the body fat stored, is turning that into ketones and two or three different other elements that my body will use for fuel that's already in the body instead of food that I'm consuming. So that means that carbs. Got to cut the carbs, uh, and you know, um, in ratio, it's more fat content, and a moderate amount of proteins. Even eating too much protein in a day, uh, dependent upon what it is and everything like that, it can slow down the process of ketosis. So what I want to do is I want a calorie count in the days that I'm doing that also. So for me, I don't want to go above 800 uh, in calories, and I don't want to go above 50 in grams of carbs. So no more than 50 grams of carbs. Most of the time, I'm really disciplined, and so maybe I do the eggs. Like what I did yesterday was I made uh, I had some chicken, so I just made a very flavorful, powerful chicken. That's one thing that's really good. If your food is like really powerful in flavor, but in flavors like herbs and garlics and things like that, and not sugar, not flavored with MSGs and sugars and anything that adds uh, that. But anything that's flavorful. Oh, and then there's, of course, I've talked about this. There are net carbs uh, within the total amount of carb count that those are the ones that are not good for you uh, when you want to go into a ketosis state in your body. Most people uh, kind of do this once or twice a day anyway, like right before they eat it. Like if you ever get like this feeling of, oh my God, that feeling that's hangry, that's very close to what it's like to be in ketosis. You know, I'm hangry. That hungry and angry or whatever. What did that phrase come from? I don't know. There's never been a more accurate description. Mostly catchphrases and pop words and stuff like that. The nouveau things I'm not too fond of, but hangry, yeah, that's applicable. Uh, where are we? Um, yeah, I'm talking about okay, my process. So I had all that food Sunday. So what I decided to do was just get right back on the horse. So I uh, low carbed and low caloried it all the way through, and this is the end of the fourth day of my doing that. And because even like that uh, yeah, I'm thinking maybe I had some pan fried chicken or something like that. No, did I? No, I didn't. I didn't. I pretty much stayed with the beef. You know, pretty much stayed with beef. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, um, yeah, but so that's good. You know, and then yesterday I did a very awesome uh, skillet, chicken in the skillet. Very powerful, very flavorful, and everything. And see, the thing I find about that for me, and everybody else may have a different experience with this, but when there's a food that has like a lot of heavy flavor, even if it's a small amount of food, I will eat less of it because I eat because I love the flavor of food. I just have to like my food. I need to keep myself trained so that I don't have to have like sweetness added into the food, but I really can love the savory. That's the herbs. That's the garlics and stuff like that, and because even onion, too much onion, which is an aromatic, but even onion will produce its own natural sugars and stuff. So I just you want to watch that, you know. I do make use of onion, but I don't not like large amounts of onion. When I was a kid, I couldn't stand onion, and then my palate changed. Anyway, at the end of day 4, now my calorie counts and my day they start over again at midnight because at midnight's a new day. So I've already prepped my food. Let me tell you, I've got in the skillet some skirt steak or flank steak, but skirt steak really is what it was, and in thin slices, and basically just an Italian grinder that I love to use. It's a that I get from the Sam's Club at the Maker's Mark, but it's really awesome. It's a good everything, and then to that, um, a really good flavorful Italian dressing that I put over the steak as I put it into a cast iron and just kind of like and it's still going actually, and I'm gonna like uh, just do it till it's fairly tender. You know, I want if you do skirt steak really really well, you could do it. It's enjoyable in all of its textures, but if you do it really really well, it does get kind of a moderate tenderness going on. It's not tender as say you know a fillet, or a but if you get like a chuck or something like that, and you cook it, if you cook it long enough, it'll break down into strings. Don't necessarily want that, but you could get it. But yeah, so the longer you cook it, the more tender it gets, and the more the flavors kind of intermingle. It's a very striated part of the beef, so it's very good. So, and what else? What else? What else? Oh, and because it will be time for my break from the keto diet, because your body, you do want to give it uh, some carbs every few days when you're doing this. I do a keto. It takes me maybe 1 or 2 days. Usually by the second day, I'm into ketosis. By the end of that second day, I was certainly starting to feel it yesterday, and then today I did feel it because it was the final day. And what I decided to do was just go ahead and make a fasting day of it. So I fasted today. I'm not suggesting anyone ever starve themselves. Crash diets don't work, because the reason why crash diets don't work is because basically if you don't eat for a day or so and then you go ahead and think that you're going to like eat whatever the hell you want to eat, that's not a crash diet. I mean, that's not a diet plan that works. So while some intermittent fasting is good on any diet plan, it shouldn't be a starvation diet. You shouldn't go. But yeah, if I needed to really reduce, it doesn't hurt me to uh, every uh, every few weeks take a day and just be like, I'm not really going to eat that much today. And indeed, I want to say since I ate last night, I did some of that wonderful savory uh, chicken that I made. Just a kitchen chicken, basically, just any kind of herb that I had threw into the pan with the chicken and gave it a really really good hearty coating. Chunks of chicken, and then I had it with a little bit of cheese slices on the side. There's a video. There's a video I made. So and then, but since that time, I haven't eaten. I did not. I think maybe this morning I had. Um, it's called a Kind bar. It's peanuts, and it has and different kind of nuts, and then it has uh, a little bit of chocolate on it. It is basically, in that case, it gives you, I want to say, 6 or 7 grams of carbs. Let me look at it real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. And so this is what I'm talking about, this uh, Kind bar, but this is a better nut bar. It's actually not a Kind bar. I think of it that way because it's kind of like that. And I got it from the Sam's Club as well. So, where are we? Okay, so yeah, there's 16 grams of carbs in here. That's not too bad. That's more than I thought. I think if they come in different sizes and different variations too, but that's not too bad. I like to keep stuff like that around for days that I'm gonna do uh, keto, and especially if I feel like I'm gonna do like I did today and have like a fast. So maybe I'll have one of those to begin my fast. And indeed, it's like well, 8:30, almost 9 o'clock, I think, and I've not really had to break my fast today, and so I'm just going to push through until midnight, and then I will have uh, a meal, and the meal that I will have, I will allow myself some that steak I was talking about that I made, that real tender um, skirt steak that's flavored up with the Italian herbs, and then I've added some additional garlic powder and bits of, in this case, yes, some chopped onion, small bits of chopped onion, uh, and then so what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to have a side of elbow macaroni. I'm going to split the serving. Uh, so the serving of it is going to be about 42 uh, to maybe, I'm going to go ahead and just round it up and say 50 grams of carbs, which is like literally one serving of this is all the carbs I should have in any day when I'm doing a keto diet. Well, by midnight, I will not be restricted to keto rules, and I can exceed that 50. So I don't mind go ahead and having it in one meal, and then later on, uh, if I pick up some incidental carbs or whatever, that won't hurt me that much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the serving and I'm going to split it, and I'm going to have one uh, tossed around in a pesto, really, really great pesto that's going to add a couple of carbs, and then the other one I'm going to toss around in just a jar, basic ragu. Basically, there's nothing that I've made or anything like that, but just you know, yeah, it's going to be really, really flavorful. It's going to be my reward for a few days of really taking care of myself with my diet. And yeah, uh, why do I talk about this? Because I'm proud. I'm kind of proud that I made some efforts starting a few years ago, and I am so close to where I want to be with with the numbers, with the ideal number that I have in my mind for my framework and everything like that, and yeah, where my weight should be. And then I do want to work a little bit on my. It's not so much the weight that really bugs me, but I'm not overly bugged by it because I try to do well. But I want to work on my body mass index, meaning the ratio of muscle tissue to fat tissue. And um, yeah, so that's kind of what I want to work on going forward in the next few months and stuff. So yeah, I would love to take a really good vacation sometime. Maybe go to the beach. And I'm not saying that I want to have like a hard body with a hard body. There was a movie called Hard Bodies. So everybody had a hard body. That was in the 80s or something like that. But so I don't I'm not trying to be that guy, but yeah, I just want to, hey, I got some lines. you know I'm not just like a I'm not just like a a neck and then like, but there's like some lines on my body, some definition. That's kind of cool. So and then what else? Yeah, so body mass index, that matters even more than the weight, because that's the kind of stuff that's like, oh my god, if you've got uh, you know you can get too much plaque in your veins and stuff like that. Most of us have that anyway, and that leads to you know heart issues, cardiovascular issues, can lead to uh, blockages in the vessels in the kidneys and the liver and stuff like that. So I'm not a perfect person. I do not live a perfect life, especially with food. Um, but just I find having a little bit of awareness with those kind of things will make me want to do a little bit better. So, but yeah, one of the things that I talk about these things is because I know that as people get older, especially in our American culture, and we have such a variety of food and everything like that, it's like, oh my god, it's so delicious. Um, and I remember early on not knowing how I was going to do it, and the only thing there is to do is to just make up your mind and do it. Like if you need to adjust your diet, if you need to adjust your physical activity, if you need to do things to take better care of your physical health, the only way to do it is to just do it. And I know that sometimes fighting temptation is hard. I'm a recovering addict. I was a using addict for decades, and uh, quit doing dope. Not because of the not because of the uh, not because I needed to lose weight. I mean, this was sometime before then. But yeah, actually, it may have been that I transferred some of my addiction to my food. And I was like, oh my god, I certainly love a good chicken wing. Find something that you love. Find something like I love a really really good chicken wing, and I eat it in the amounts that are good for me, that provide the amount of nutrients that I need, uh, and get me just to the amount of carbs that I'm allowed. Sometimes I go right to it, to that limit. But yeah, it's like find something that you love, whatever it is that if you're doing a diet, well, find something that you love that fits the parameters of that diet and run with it, baby. That's what I did. Um, but I want people to know that if you have to make any sort of adjustments, uh, lifestyle, food, or anything like that, I just it's you can do it. You can do it. I yeah. I'm anyone can, and there are much better examples in the world even than me. But so this is about hope for your health and for mine. You know, and stress eating, boredom eating, pastime eating, um, eating basically just because food's delicious and it's there and we can. Those are some habits that we can break. Uh, yeah, and we don't have to give up eating for enjoyment. But I like to think of it as in terms of money budgeting. You know, if I have to budget my money, then I can budget my calories too, and that means I have to make choices during the day. And if you think doing something like this is going to make you most days I do not fast. Today just happens to be a fasting day, but you don't have to do that. But that's something I choose to do. But most days when I make really good choices, I can eat a ton of food that has a ton of flavor. That's hyperbole, not actually a ton. But I mean, like, I'll eat more uh, than than definitely I think I could, and that's eating smaller portions throughout the day instead of 2 or 3 meals, and also, uh, yeah, it's like if I say, hey, um, maybe I don't want to have this small amount of carb that's allowed for me today, then I could eat a hell of a lot more other food, So learn which vegetables masquerade as carbs, or actually which vegetables actually have carbs and they're really nutritionally carbs masquerading as vegetables. There's a lot of that, and then there are some vegetables that are like super great, like a raw vegetable, like a broccoli. Uh, I'm okay with that. Uh, even carrot slices and then uh, a zero sugar, zero carb dip or something like that works for me. So, yeah, these are just little things. I'm just talking to entertain myself, basically. It's almost time for me to go stir this steak up, and then I'm just going to like leave it sitting there for a couple of hours. I'm going to watch a movie. By the time that movie is over with, uh, I should be close enough that I feel like, gee, I'm close enough to midnight. I may as well go ahead and just wait till midnight. That's what I do. Milestones, sometimes hour stones, moment by moment. But this is not my life. This is not. It's just that like I'm fasting today. So, and when I have to do something that's a little difficult like that, and I can do that. I just kind of like look at hey, you know what? I'm almost there, and then find something to entertain myself too. Uh, like making these videos. Okay, love and light, peace. Good night.